I'm going to go play some college football.
Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into the PTA post-game show Wildcard playoff edition. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Emilio in Tennessee. We got Jacob in Wisconsin here to talk about this tough loss as Cardiac Caleb does it again. 31-27. The Bears come away with the victory here. Just like the last time they played, if you told me the Bears were able to score 31 points on this Jeff Hafley defense, I'd say you probably lost a damn ball game. So that's where we're at. Some key statistics. This is, you know how we talk about turnover differential in middle eight, right? Big key components of the gambling community, if you will. We won the middle eight 7-0. We won the turnover differential 2-0. There's like some people say a 4 to 6% chance. I've heard other people say an 8% chance of the team winning the ball game when you lose both the middle eight and the turnover differential, especially with the turnover differential being 2-0. So wild statistic there. This is one of those rare situations. Now on the flip side, you get the penalties, obviously, that played a big part in this. I mean, if you guys are on Twitter, you're seeing it. The non-calls on several different plays. The big punt return, which I know everybody's ready to fire Basac's ass into the sun once again. You can go back and watch it. The guy gunning, Carrington Valentine, dude's got a handful of jersey, pulling him straight back, pulling the jersey off his back. No call. They take it up the sideline. Huge gain. You got the Rashawn Gary non-hold call there where it should have been a strip sack. He still got his hand on the ball. A lot of stuff going on there. But nonetheless, the numbers ended up being 7 penalties. The Packers were called for 7 penalties for 65 yards. The Bears were called for 2 penalties and 5 yards. One of those penalties had to be called because the ball did not land in the landing zone. So, again, the whole game, Bears trailing, right? Point spread, we always talk about when the officiating becomes a little bit questionable, see if it caters to getting the score closer to the line. In this case, it did. That is what it is. But we're going to go through the chat, hang out with everybody here, talk about it. Just a couple of takeaways for me. Again, we talked about the middle eight, the turnover differential. When Cooper left the game, I know people was going, what happened in the second half? That was a collapse. Edgerrin Cooper is way more important to this defense than people, I think, realize. He leaves the game with the injury. The defense really starts to collapse in the second half. Sean Ryan, first of all, Jacob Monk goes out early. I don't know if he was starting at center or what. I didn't catch. Did you guys catch whether he started at center or not?
No.
Okay, so he goes out really early. Maybe it was on a special teams play. So you lose your backup center. Let's assume Sean Ryan started the whole game. Then Sean Ryan gets hurt on that final drive. And now you're literally down to Lasita Smith. You're down to your fourth string center. I was sitting here going, at that point, I'm going, we will be lucky to get a snap into Jordan Love's hands. That was just a wild thing that uncovered there as well. Of course, you had the Rasheed Walker penalty at the end. I think it's safe to say he will not be a Packer next year. I'm going to be very vocal with Keyshawn Nixon. I'm done. I've defended him. Hey, he's played good. I've tried to point out the positives, but this stupid crap of jumping on the pile, acting like a tough guy is just, how many times is this going to happen, before we actually do something or make a change? That was just absolutely wild to me. So if I were to pick a player of the game for the Packers, it's definitely Jordan Love, 323 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Again, this offense, running the ball, my biggest knock, and I'm going to get your all's take on it. Second half play calling, did not like how aggressive we were. Watching Twitter, people were going, hey, why are we playing so vanilla? Why aren't we playing aggressive? Guys, we came out in the second half, the first 4 drives of the second half, 9 passes to 4 runs. We were doing the opposite from playing conservative. We were playing way too aggressive trying to throw the football around. But nonetheless, 23 carries, 99 yards. You ran the ball fairly effective, although they started loading the box at the end. Romeo Doubs had a huge game, 8 catches, for 124 yards. My man stepped up big time. It sucks he's probably not going to be a Packer next year because, boy, when the game's on the line, Romeo, there you go, man. Dead Fish, I agree, buddy. Romeo made some big, big plays there down the stretch. We're going to hit the super chats. I see them piling up in here as well. We'll get to those next. Let's go around the horn one time. Emilio, I think there's still 1,000 other things I want to hit on, but hopefully y'all took the Jordan Love over because he torched the 223.5 for 323 yards. And again, the 4 touchdowns and no picks was pretty impressive there. But go ahead, Emilio. What you got, man?
Yeah, crazy game. We had it at half, missed field goal. All right, let's keep moving. 3-and-out. That's a tough start, and you only lose 40 seconds there. You get a bad feeling, then you punt, and you kind of start unraveling. Great game, but like you said, Romeo, he was a best graded player we have here on PFF. Hit an 85.5. Matthew is second with an 81.6. Jordan Morgan, 78.5. Love to see that. Jordan Love with a 76.8. It's just tough way to go. You lose an O-lineman just like we did last year. My boy had to come in. You didn't have him to come in this year, so we might need to, check out the O-line coming into this offseason here. But when they protected Love, like he was cutting him up 4 touchdowns. I mean, he had a heck of a game. Defense couldn't plug the hole. I mean, I don't know.
Dude, that's the thing is like I'm looking at some of the comments and it's bashing Jordan Love, it's bashing Matt LaFleur, it's fire Matt LaFleur, Jordan Love, blah, 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 right? And I'm going, boys, at what point do we throw some of this at the feet of Jeff Hafley? And I'm not saying fire Jeff Hafley like people were saying fire Matt LaFleur. I'm simply saying the Packers scored 27 points, and this defense gave up 31 points. That was the story of the game here. It wasn't the offense not doing its job. You protected the football. What we say, protect the football, you win the game, right? They protected the football. They put 27 points on the board. You seen, I think it was Rasheed Walker came up to Jordan at the end of the game and tried to kind of like pat him on the back. Jordan wasn't having it. Like you could tell Jordan was pissed. Like, damn, there's no reason why we shouldn't have won this ball game. And again, if the argument is, well, he lost Cooper, he lost Parsons, I get that. Matt LaFleur is doing this with this offense without Tucker Kraft. He's doing it with the 4th string center. I mean, like, yeah. Anyway, we are going to be a sounding board tonight. Everybody get it out. We are your therapy in here. Jacob, go ahead and start this thing off. Try not to use any 4-letter words there, sir.
I mean, what can you say? This was an absolute collapse. Like, we have to be honest with what happened today. We watched it. It was disappointing, to say the least. And it's very disappointing because we had this game. It's just like the other – basically, the 3 games that we've played against the Bears, we controlled the game for most of, like, I'm talking 90% of the game. And for whatever reason, we decided that we're going to let these guys crawl back in like a bunch of leeches, a bunch of weirdos just creeping and crawling their way back into the game. And, yeah, man, it sucks. Like, it really does suck. Like, it was a game that we should have had in the bag. If you would have looked at our group chat, you would have seen Emilio throwing a bunch of Snapchats, or what do you call them?
Gifts.
Gifts. That's what you call them.
Look at Papa Jacob figuring it out.
Just boy got in the bag, man. I'm telling you. And to Clayton's point, I mean, how much more could Jordan Love do, man? 24 of 46, 323, averaging 7 per, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, yeah, bruh, like, what are we supposed to do? I mean, and it really does. And it's just like for whatever reason at halftime, something changed. Something freaking changed where the momentum just absolutely left the Packers sideline. And I don't understand. That's one of those things that, if these, I'm sure there's a ton of people in the chat that want to sit here and be like, Matt LaFleur is blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, well, but do the players have any sort of onus on themselves?
Right. No, it's Rich Bisaccia's fault that Brandon McManus missed those kicks. It's unbelievable.
I mean, that's 7 points right there. 2 missed field goals, an extra point. That's 7 points right there. And let alone it was still 21-6 at the end of the third. 25 points got scored in the 4th quarter by them. Yeah,
go ahead, Jacob. Finish. You're on the roll there, buddy.
No, man, I'm just saying. It's just that, we can sit here and pretend like everything is great. What's weird is that like Golden all of a sudden showed up, All of a sudden,
So much
Josh
great,
Jacobs
man.
is got thunder thighs again. All of a sudden, at the weird points where stuff needed to come to a fruition, it just didn't. And
Right.
that's kind of been the telltale story of this season, man. It sucks. And you know what? Like this is a brutal loss. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's not. This is oh God, I almost swore. This is a gut dagger right now. This is a gut one that like sits you and just guts you out. You know what I mean? It's a brutal loss, man, and it is.
It is, man. Yeah. Mike Berry says sipping bourbon, 4 roses, 4 roses, single barrel. I'll be okay tomorrow. I love how it's not. I'll be okay. I'll be okay tomorrow.
Do you want to catch up on some? We got a lot of super chats going.
Yeah, I'm gonna get them right now. I'm gonna go. Let's roll with it. 18 Solder, guys. Again, vent, get it all out. We got an off season to cover here. H.E. Solar with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. Says at some point the Packers need to emphasize special teams. Giving up big returns and multiple missed kicks have killed this team in big games, and it's happened for 2 years now. Right now, here's the thing: you went out and got the best available kicker. I think we would all agree, and Brandon McManus. Like Solar, I'm not. This isn't a shot at you. I'm asking out loud. I'm even asking myself, how do you fix it? How do you find that next great kicker? Because it seems like as soon as someone finds one, like a Justin Tucker, he goes out and does some weird crap, and now he's out of the league. You know, it's just like, I don't know, man. Who was the kicker that San Francisco drafted that we were talking about the other day? I can't remember his name. Was it Jake Bates? Am I thinking right or no? Is it somebody else?
Moody or Bates? Yeah.
Moody. That's it. Jake Moody, wasn't it? So
okay.
They drafted him in like the 3rd round, right? 3rd or 4th round. And he's pretty much out of the league now, right? I mean, he's pretty much done. So I don't know what the answer is, Solder. I don't, man. Other than, like you said, you got to nothing gets fixed if you don't emphasize special teams. And we kind of talked about that in the pregame, obviously. Or I think it might have been yesterday's show. We talked about that. So leading in, but appreciate the super chat, Solder. I'm with you though, man. Special teams, boy, they crapped the bed tonight. Well, not really. The return, I'm a little more forgiving on. Because again, I'm watching all the space they've got, and my eyes go from the returner and all the space and covering that space, and then going to the gunners, and I'm like, do they not see Carrington Ballantyne being grabbed from behind? Right? Is this really happening right now? And then I'm thinking, we got enough bodies, maybe we'll make the tackle, and then he cuts up the sideline. I'm like, geez, Pete,
Don't have Bo as a gunner.
Yeah. Biz 1987 with the super. Thank you, buddy. Says, I'm tired of imploding against the same team twice. Also, no plan against the opponent's second half adjustments. Embarrassing. And again, man, they did. They made the adjustment once again and pulled it out. We were kind of talking about this before we went live. It's like, what happened in the second half? What happened in the second half? They made an adjustment. We made an adjustment. They made another adjustment. You can see Caleb Williams kind of drawing it up in the dirt. And I know people don't want to hear it, but you fan how you want to fan. I'll fan how I want to fan. When he can stand back there and his offensive line can literally hold after hold after hold, what can you do? Okay, you dial up some pressure, right? You try to bring a blitz. We did that. We got burnt by Loveland, right? So it's like, I'm looking at it from that direction. I thought Gary had a pretty good game. I don't know. Do you got a prelim on Gary's PFF grade Amelia? I was surprised. I wasn't expecting Gary to be that effective. It seemed like he was.
He looked like he was running real hard.
Yeah, Rashawn Gary was top 5, 68-6. He was 5th.
So nothing great in terms of PFF, but
no, I mean the top 5 was Edrin at 1 with an 81.1, Bull at 2 with a 78.9, McDuffie at 3 with a 70.4, Brinson at 4 with a 68.8, and then Rashawn at a 68.6.
Got it. All right. Appreciate the super chat there, Biz. Totally on board with you, man. H.E. Solder with the super chat. Running the play clock down to 0 needs to stop. Y'all remember when they were complaining about Aaron? This was Aaron's fault when Aaron was here. You remember that? It needs to stop. Delay of game out of the timeout and at the end of the game was stupid. Love is a rhythm guy, so get your play calls in a manner that keeps Love in tempo. Here's the problem that I have with that, Solder, is I don't see them hurry, get the play call in. I'm seeing Jordan making the check too late. And I could be wrong. I'm not saying that I'm right and you're wrong. But from my perspective, it looks like he's checking a little too late. And that's something that needs to be cleaned up. I agree with you there. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. That how many times we had to see him slapping his hands like snap the ball, because we're waiting until the last split second. They wait as long as possible to get a better look at the defense, right? That's what they're doing. It's kind of like when a coach will call a timeout and get what they call a Kodak, right? take a look at the defense, call a timeout. Now we know what set they're in. Now they may change it, but we're a little bit better prepared for what their number one call is in that situation. It could be a go-to-it play on the go-to-it sheet, right, as we call it. But I can understand, man. It's frustrating too when you.
Well, we did have the delay of game on that kick that we tried, and then we miss it, right?
The delay of game came, that pushed the kick back 5 more yards.
And
so
we missed that kick.
Yeah.
Right.
And now, does he hit the kick? Look from the angle I'm looking at, I don't feel like it goes through there, but it's from a kicker standpoint, you're feeling a lot better about that opportunity if you're 5 yards closer. I think we would all agree. I mean, the chances go up pretty significantly. So I appreciate the super chat there. So the reality shift with the super chat says they need to fire McManus as soon as he steps in that locker room. Absolute horrible performance by him. You want to hear something funny? So I'm one that I think McManus is a better kicker than Haversick. Okay. I don't know. Maybe you guys disagree. Mandy was all too hell when they let Haversick go. I mean, all too hell. We had conversations over lunch about it. This girl was mad about it, right? I went downstairs and there was 2 minutes left. And I went to use the bathroom, come back up, kind of get ready for the stream. It kind of felt like which way this game was going, just to be honest with you. Like the last 4 or 5 minutes, I'm going, okay, I got a good feel of where this momentum is, just to be real. But as I walk in the bathroom, she said, should have kept the substitute teacher. Like this asshole. She really just burned me like that. So I'm okay with moving on to a better kicker reality shift if we know of a better kicker. It sucks, man, because he's been a good kicker. Am I wrong? I feel like he's been a good kicker. But man, clutch is different, dude. Like, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but when I'm watching a kicker try to kick a field goal with a game on the line or a close game, I'm like, I always think, I don't know how their knees are not rattling together right now. I'm a nervous wreck. How do they go out there and do this? So I'm a little more lenient in that regard, I guess. But how
did
do
you think did you think the snap was clean on most of those?
To me, it looked like it was. Now the first miss did he miss an extra point?
Yeah. He missed 2 field goals and an extra point.
So the extra point to me looked like he had a flash off of his right side with pressure, and that can mess with you, right? Now you're taught, don't even focus on that. Just swing through the ball, right? Let everybody do their job. So the ball didn't get blocked, so it's still on the kicker. But that's the only one that I feel like was a little off.
There was one that was a bad snap. The holder had to get a hold of, and then it was that's the one that he missed too, or one of the ones that he missed.
Right? Yeah, so that's 2 that affected. So, and again, should he still hit it if the ball gets down where you could kick?
And the ball did get down, like it did.
So
like it was a bad snap. He, was a little bit muffed. I don't want to go full Ace Ventura. The lace is out, but it was a bad snap. But the guy got the hold down. Amelia, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, definitely. No, Daniel Willen's a dog. I mean, we're lucky that we have him on punt and on extra field goal, extra point, whatever. But Santos hit 3 field goals, 2 extra points for 11 points, and McManus went 0 for 2 on field goals and 3 for 4 on extra points for 3 points. So that's you left 7 points on the board there. We wouldn't even be talking about 31-27 right now.
Yeah. Josh Martin with the super chat. Appreciate you, Josh. He said LaFleur has to go clean house. So any thoughts on that comment there, gents? Any thoughts on that at all? Do you agree or disagree? I disagree.
I would disagree still.
Okay. Jacob, do you agree or disagree, sir?
I mean, it's easy at this point in the season, at this actual time, to be like, I want to burn everything down, right? Like that's what you would if you're a unrational type of person. No, I don't believe that.
There's the answer I was looking for.
It's not. No, I mean, to be honest, like today, it was frustrating. Like I think I actually did text Clayton in our group chat, and for once in like a million years, Clayton responded. And he's like, "Well, what do you specifically mean?" And I honestly couldn't give him an actual answer. I just meant,
and I wasn't trying to be a smart ass. I'm like,
no. And I understand that. That's like why we got the relationship we do because I went, I don't know. I just felt like the momentum changed, and then sure as poopy. It felt like the momentum changed, and that was just kind of my point. Is that for whatever reason, we just don't have that dog in us. And that is maybe where, the people that are sitting here on the comments being like, well, Matt LaFleur doesn't know how to inspire, kind of be like that rah-rah type people. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not there on the sidelines. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here sitting in my chair, drinking some Pepsis and being like, I would have called this real different right there. You know what I mean? Like, it's just different. But like, it does seem that for whatever reason, we lost our crap after the second half. I mean, I don't know why.
Don't you think it's safe to say that the pressure is ratcheted up in the second half more so than the first? Right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what would fix that? Players being able to handle that pressure. What kind of player do you want? What do you think of when you think, okay, we need guys to step up in a clutch situation to make a play? Would you rather have a 7-year vet, or would you rather have a second-year player or a rookie? I'd rather have the 7-year vet, right? Now, the problem with that is you can't build a roster full of 7-year vets because the salary cap won't prohibit it, right? If you try to sign all the great 7 to 8 year vets,
right,
obviously the cap's going to be through the roof. That's why you got to utilize the draft with the younger players. We don't have enough of a balance, and this is the point I want to make. Josh, I respect your opinion, man. I really do. You want LaFleur gone, that's your decision, cool. Why are we not saying anything about how Brian Gutekunst has built the roster, right? We've changed the training staff twice now, and the injuries are still a huge issue, right? Is it Matt LaFleur's fault that they're getting hurt? I'm genuinely asking, did the coach do something to put them in a situation? Is he practicing them too hard? No. The CBA makes everybody practice the same amount, right? Padded practice and stuff. Why does Goody keep getting a complete pass? And again, I'm not saying Goody should be fired, but we got the youngest roster in the league, and we got 16 people on IR, and tonight you lost your best defender, arguably, in Edgerrin Cooper, that was still left on the field, right? You lost your backup, your backup center, your second string center, and then you end up losing your third string center, I guess you could say. And again, it was just for whatever it was, 3 plays.
Letitia Smith had to come on.
Not Letitia, it's Lecitas.
Letitia.
Letitia is that girl you were seeing the other night.
Yeah, come on, Jacob.
Come on. She was a very good dancer.
So, with that being said, like LaFleur, okay, we fire LaFleur, great. Who's the coach you're bringing in? And if it's John Harbaugh, okay, expect the winning percentage to be far less. He didn't even make the playoffs this year with a 2-time MVP quarterback, mind you, right? So, again, I don't think LaFleur is the problem. I think we need to ratchet it up a little bit. And we started to do that this year with the Micah Parsons addition. And you went out and you signed Nate Hobbs and you signed Aaron Banks. Goody whiffed on both of those free agents. Or do we all agree with that? Yes or no? Do you think Goody whiffed on Nate Hobbs and Aaron Banks signing them in free agency?
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
100%.
I hate to say it, but it is what it is, right? So, again, it just feels like it's all falling at the feet of Matt for some people, right? But, again, man, appreciate the super chat there, Josh. King Tron with the super. Unprecedented, undisciplined, underperformance. Agree.
No.
Pretty straightforward. Jeremy became a new member here on YouTube. Appreciate you, Jeremy. Thanks for jumping into, buddy. You jump right into the pit here if this is your first time here. I mean, everybody's name keeps changing on YouTube, so maybe you're someone who's been here before, but I appreciate you being a member, pal. Badger Trio with the super chat. Why was Matt getting cute with O-line wide receiver? See, that's the thing, right? Matt LaFleur isn't creative enough. Been hearing that all year. Why Ben Johnson gets all creative? Why ain't Matt LaFleur creative, right? Matt LaFleur's too conservative. Matt LaFleur's too predictable. Stat came out the other day. Somebody did put together 2 different statistics and, did the chart they do, the horizontal and the vertical. What do you call that chart, Amelia? What the hell's that called, man? Where you got a stat running on the column, or running vertically on the left and then on the right. What kind of chart is that?
XY axis.
Yeah, XY axis. Yeah, it depends on you got a bar, a line. What do you got?
And what it basically said in a nutshell was Matt LaFleur is the most unpredictable play caller in the National Football League. Doesn't mean
that's not true.
Yeah, it's what I'm saying. It's like the facts don't care about our feelings. Now, with the O-line wide receiver thing there, Trio, what did I say in the chat, guys? And now we're throwing to a freaking offensive lineman. Like, we came out the first 4 drives of the second half. We threw 9 passes to 4 rushes when we were averaging 5 yards a carry. And then we turned around and threw a pass to an offensive lineman. But again, the loud people on Twitter and across the Packer fan base are screaming, Matt LaFleur isn't aggressive enough. He's not creative enough. Like, I think he's getting too creative. I think he is getting too cute. I agree with you, Badger Trio. I hated the fact when he ran over the defender, the offensive lineman.
I love
that. That was pretty awesome.
Was it Daniel Kennard? It was Kennard, right?
It was Kennard.
When he ran
looked
over,
like a running back, bro. He looked like Mike Allstott.
I came up off my seat and I said some baddie words, some baddie words. And then I immediately thought, please protect that football. And there went the ball spitting out down the field. I'm like, Jesus.
Some drop kick it forward and it was over.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Trio. Thank you for the super, buddy. King Tron with the super. I swear if I hear Malik over Love, I'm a sad. Love threw 4 touchdowns tonight. WTF. What the F more do you want, man? So gutted right now. We didn't deserve to win. Also, fire McManus. So McManus is catching some heat tonight. And I get it, man. I agree. I completely understand.
What Greg Cosell always say, Clay, more teams lose them than win them. You know, you got to take care of yourself. You got to look out for yourself and play. We talked about it, a clean 60 minutes. We got probably a good 45, and then, it just kind of fell apart.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, in terms of that, and Emilio, what you put in the private chat now, text them to it. Text the handle if you don't care. Okay. Yeah, we didn't deserve to win. What's crazy is the middle late and the turnover differential says otherwise, but in the second half, like, I agree we didn't deserve to win. When you give up 31 points, you don't deserve to win. It's that simple. Caleb Williams cut you up down the stretch, right? He ended up with 361 yards passing. He had 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. You controlled the running game really, really well. You could tell that was the game plan. They had 28 carries for 93 yards and a touchdown. But Colston Loveland cut you up. They made the adjustment there late and put Xavier McKinney on Loveland, but they were in man coverage. That's when Quay gets beat outside in man coverage. So it wasn't like Hafley wasn't trying to make adjustments. But again, guys, you're without Micah Parsons, your best player. You're without Devontae Wyatt. You're only 3-tech essentially right now. And listen, Kobe Wooden has impressed me, to be honest with you. Yeah. Kobe Wooden, I think I'm excited to get him back next year. Another year under his belt, off-season program. Watching him play knows. So, you lose Edgerrin Cooper. I said it 3 weeks ago. Kind of feels like we're running out of gas, boys. And you ran out of gas in the second half tonight. So, appreciate the super chat there, Tron. And I'm with you over that Malik over Love stuff, man. And I think Malik has an opportunity to be a great quarterback. I'm excited. I want to see him go to Miami, if anywhere, sign with the Dolphins. That would be fun to see him down there with John Eric Sullivan. That'd be cool.
Dude, can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, man.
Do you think that this performance in the last the last 6 weeks, do you think that lessens Jeff's opportunity for being quote unquote?
I think it does, Jacob.
It has to, right?
Right, but he's still going to get interviews, right? Mm-hmm. And he's going to crush the interview, I believe. Do you think so, Emilio? Don't he look like the type of person he'll go in there and rip? He'll rip.
That's why he's got the longest pressers every single week. Like when they come out, I've never seen them stick with coordinator press conference.
Emilio, it's not on rookie though, right? It's not. It is set on rookie. When they do the interviews, is it set on rookie?
But 20-minute interviews for D coordinator.
Freshman? What is that? Freshman?
He's got coach mode on where he just snaps the ball and lets the computer run the play for him.
I thought that's what it was. Yeah.
Go ahead,
head coach 2006. Bring it back. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, he would crush the interview. Absolutely.
Yeah. Goose in the chat. Good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're doing well. Hope the family's doing good. He says NFL equals WWE. Man, listen, I've fought it for so long, and we started watching it a lot this year, did we not, Emilio? Yeah, we started looking at that point spread, and it seemed I haven't seen one. Not one. I repeat, I haven't seen one damn game where you watch it and feel like the officiating is going into the direction of where the point spread is in the opposite side of. That makes sense.
Did you guys see the non-illegal hands to the face call? Like on multiple freaking rushes where the Green Bay Packers were clearly going after Caleb, and they just either held him, had an arm over their shoulder, or literally had their face mask being pushed up. Like,
and it was. And you expect them to call it both ways. In my defense, the way I always respond to that is, okay, you do it. You go do it, right? Like, okay, if they're not going to call hold, start holding, guys. And they call us for holds. And it's like, but again.
Yeah, that Rashid one was weak. I mean, yeah, it was a hold, but like compared to everything else that they were doing, it was a let them play kind of game until, the second half pretty much. And then they just started getting out of hand.
Yeah. Appreciate the super chat, Goose. Good to see you, buddy. Mr. D-Raw with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. Says, I think it's time for Matt LaFleur to give up play calls and hit focus on being head coach. We need a whole new cornerback room. I'm done with all of them. Man, the Nixon thing really bothered me tonight. It got to me. It was just a boiling point. I'm like, okay, sooner or later, you got to accept the fact that this dude he doesn't care what the ramifications is. He's just going to do what he wants to do. Quay had a little bit of that his rookie year, and he fixed it. Right now, maybe he hasn't been quite the same player, but if you get beat playing your assignment, and you're just not good enough, I get it. Okay, he's just not good. It is what it is. But when you do stuff every single week to try to act like a tough guy and it costs your team yards every single week, it gets to the point where it's like, well, I can't believe they didn't play Trayvon Diggs. I really expect them to play Trayvon.
He jumped on that pile, right? Like that was the dumb, stupid freaking play that he did.
Yeah.
Diggs played one snap.
That's it?
One snap. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then Key on that 4th and 5 or the 4th and 8 when Caleb was rolling right and it was like a long crosser. Key undercut it, thought he could get to it and was 5 yards, 5 yards away from the ball by the time it got there.
And again, with Diggs not playing, that is not Matt LaFleur. That is Hafley not putting him in his defensive game plan. I guarantee you Matt LaFleur didn't go to Hafley and go, hey, Haf, I know you really like Diggs, but I don't want to see him out there this week. He didn't do that. Hafley's got full and complete control over the defense. They've talked about it from day one. That's a Hafley thing. And again, I'm not saying Hafley should be fired. I'm simply saying it's another example of why are we not even mentioning. Guys, the Packers are dead last in defense in almost all important statistical categories in the last 3 games. That's a fact. I seen that come across Twitter yesterday. I was like, geez, Pete, it's gotten that bad.
You want to know what's crazy? Is that if they I saw a comparison of Joe Barry versus Jeff Hafley. Joe Barry's better. And for whatever reason, we think in our minds that Jeff Hafley is the better coach, and like that's crazy. Think about that, guys. Like let's actually
numbers are the numbers, right, Jacob? They're the numbers.
The numbers are the numbers, bro.
And you guys remember when they fired Joe Barry? I got to the point with Joe Barry where I was just like, I'm tired of hearing people. I'm to this point with Gary too. I'm tired of people blaming one person. Like I get to the point where I'm just okay, yeah, just get rid of them so we ain't got to hear it anymore. And then they move on to the next person, right? Joe Barry's defense year 1 was great, right? I mean, great defense. Year 2 took a step back. Year 3, we weren't even running his scheme anymore. We got away from the Fangio scheme. We started playing middle field close. So at that point, Matt stepped in and was like, okay, we need to make adjustments, blah, blah, blah. And okay, Joe Barry's out the door now. Great. Again, we said this when it was fire Joe Barry. Okay, Dom Capers. Fire Dom Capers. He's a dinosaur. You know what the hell he's doing. All right, you bring in Mike Pettin. Fire Mike Pettin. Get him out of here. You don't know what he's doing. Okay, you bring in Joe Barry. Fire Joe Barry. You don't know what the hell he's doing. And now we're to the point where Hafley's defense, statistically, of the last 4 games, is worse than Joe Barry's defense has been. So, and again, nobody's saying fire Jeff Hafley, but if the special teams are a problem, right, and you look at the tape and you watch what the problem is, and it's a kicker missing a kick, right? Or it's just the personnel isn't good enough is essentially what it comes down to. And you're not building the bottom of the roster to strengthen your special teams. You're building it to have that next great weapon. That's that West Coast offense roster build mentality that we talked about 3 or 4 episodes ago, where Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick tree, they build special. The bottom half of the roster is all about strengthening the special teams. West Coast offense teams, they're all about finding that next great weapon. Right, the undrafted free, think Bo Melton, right? Bo Melton is like our prized possession on special teams, right? Well, what does he do great? He run a 4.140 according to Christian Watson's dad. He's a speed demon. How have we utilized him this year? Not one snap on defense. He's been playing receiver. So again, Mike with the super chat. Thank you so much, Mike. Appreciate you, buddy. He says, love was absolutely lights out. Again, I'm with you, man. Could have been a little more efficient, but those pass-heavy calls early in the second half that Matt was making, it kind of puts your back against the wall because you don't want to turn the ball over, right? He finished 24 of 46, but he had 323 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no picks. He protected the football, and that's going to make the completion percentage go down a touch, obviously. And again, when you're pass happy, Emilio, do you agree with how I feel about that play calling in the second half? Do you think we should have ran more, or did you kind of like what Matt was doing there?
No, first drive, I probably would have ran it twice and then thrown on third if I didn't get it. Then, all right, let's open it up on the second drive. But I would have wanted to get at least a minute off the clock.
And why would you have done that, Emilio?
I mean, just to calm everybody out of the half. You know that you're going to get a halftime speech from the coach, the crowd. They're getting refills. Everybody's ready to go, right? So let's kind of cool it for a second.
For whatever reason, like they let that momentum shift, right? Did you feel it? Like,
well, I mean, that's the kick at the end was like, all right, cool. We don't need to hang our hat on that. Let's come out in the second half. Let's kill 5 minutes of the clock and go from there. But we didn't kill 50 seconds, and we're wheeling.
See, that's the one thing that I think me and Clayton got kind of for the first time ever. Clayton actually responded in the group chat, which is crazy because he never does.
You know why? Andy pissed me off when I went downstairs. She said, should have kept substitute kicker.
Jacob handled the
but she literally he had a great question. He goes, Jacob, specifically, what would you want? And I was like, damn, I don't actually know exactly specifically. It just felt like the momentum and the play calling was just shifted, and it was weird.
It was because we didn't complete a pass on those 3 plays.
The momentum
that's what I'm saying. The feel would have been fine if we completed one of those passes and got a first down.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And so do you think that, for whatever reason, do you agree that for whatever reason at that point, you should have shifted the play calling into a position where it's more of a just run the ball, run the clock kind of thing?
Completely agree. And this, Jacob, I've been more on that side all year, really the last 2 years. You guys remember me. I remember when I was charting first down passes, I was getting pissed off on why are we throwing on first down so much. Remember, I've been on this side for a long time. I just get frustrated because the people who scream fire Matt LaFleur are saying he's not aggressive enough. And I'm like, you're not even keeping up with how
Clayton kept texting me is this aggressive enough?
Seriously, and you know what? If it works, great, right? I'm as bad as anybody. You hear those people that it's run the ball, and then when they run it, why ain't we passing? They literally 2 plays later, right? But the reality is you were aggressive coming out, and if you hit on those, to me, Matt LaFleur came out in the second half and was trying to put his foot on their throat, which is what most Packer fans want, right? I'm the boring, cheap Packers fan that's like, you know what? If we just lean on them and try to establish a run here, lean on them. If you run the ball 3 times and run almost 2 minutes off the clock and punt, I'm okay with that. But when you pass 2 times, run it once, and you only run 30 seconds off the clock, and now you're punting the ball to them, they get double the momentum. It's kind of lost. So, King Tron with the super chat might keep Halfley now if that's even the right call. Also, watch Nixon stand there and watch that first touchdown go right in front of him. Yeah, Tron, I'm done. I'm done with the whole Nixon thing. And am I wrong, Emilio? Because sometimes we kind of get in our own head. Maybe I'm misremembering how I felt this year. I feel like I've been defending Nixon this year. I remember pointing out the pass breakups early, and then it's about, I don't know, wherever it was, 3 or 4 games ago, where he's biting on double moves. I'm like, play your damn assignment. Stop biting on the double move, right? Mm-hmm. That's when I kind of turned. Now I'm to the point where I'm just like, it just ain't working, man. It ain't working.
Yeah, that's tough. You can't have that. You can't be giving them 15 yards free just because you hop on a pile. That's a keep your head kind of moment. And just, we signed him for 6 for a kick returner. We weren't getting that out of him. Ended up being our QB one, or cornerback 1, and then if that doesn't work out, where do you go to, right? So, it wasn't, it didn't come down to key, but there were a couple of plays where I would have liked him just, hug his man a little bit tighter, stay on a little bit more, little things like that.
Yeah. Ryan, and again, thank you for the super chat, Tron. Appreciate you, buddy. Ryan Santos with the super chat. Thank you. Says, fellas, this is on Matt LaFleur. The defense stayed on the field the second half. We had to stop making excuses for Matt LaFleur. It's on him, all of it. Matt is not taking us to the promised land. So we should have ran the ball more, I think, is what I'm taking from that, right?
Mhm.
Is that how you're taking that? Like the defense is on the field, and I agree with that. The defense was on the field too much, but
yeah, they led in time of possession. I think they had like 32 minutes. We had like 27. So
31 points, boys. I don't know. I can't agree completely with the comment there, Ryan, but I respect the opinion, buddy. Appreciate the super. Yeah. How do you feel about that, Emilio? That comment there. Do you agree with it?
I would say that the offense was throwing the ball at 6.9 yards of play and running the ball at 4.3 yards of rush, and we're 3 or 3 in the red zone. The only thing that was, and 3 of 3 on fourth down as well. The only thing that held us back, 6 of 15 on third down. That you get yourself put in the red zone or the fourth down. Yeah, you make 3 of those. I think it was maybe third down and your penalties. You can't beat yourself. You can't make those mistakes. You got to know the way the refs are calling it. You got to play a clean game. You got to play extra clean and, make the scoreboard do the talking.
Got it. All right, Ryan, appreciate the super chat, buddy. Hopefully you're doing well, man. Dark Arts Poker with the super. Thank you, Buff. He says, maybe I'm still too hot right now, but this loss is embarrassing. It's bragging rights for a couple generations. I get it. If you listen to the show this week, coming into this game, you kind of got the vibe I didn't expect us to win. Would y'all agree with that? I wasn't going, oh, yeah, we're going to go out there and take care of business. I did think if you won the turnover differential, you win this ball game. I really believed that. And it did not happen. But, I said it 3 weeks ago, like, you're running out of gas, boys. There comes a point where you go, okay, this is too much to overcome. And when Edrin Cooper went out tonight and I seen him go into the blue tent, you know what my mom went to immediately was, can they give shots in there? Because I thought, I hope that maybe they're going to give him a shot, right? Kind of like
what Cooper.
And didn't Coop get hurt on the play where Keyshawn jumps on the pile?
Yes,
correct. Exactly. Yep. Jesus.
And I don't know if it had anything. I want to say he was in the background though. I want to say he was in the background when that happened. So it wasn't like, I don't want that to be misconstrued. It wasn't like Keyshawn jumped on Edrin Cooper. Some people will hear that and think that's what happened. I don't think that happened, right? It seemed like he was kind of back in the secondary. He was covering and just fell down. So it looked bad, to be honest with you. Yeah. And by the end, when that injury happens, as we're going down, when you're coming down the stretch there and that injury happens, I'm literally thinking to myself, there's no way we're competing with the other teams in the playoffs for the rest of this run. Like the Bears are the kind of the weak link, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense or not. Like I feel like, okay, you might pull out this win against the Bears, but boy, it's going to be an uphill battle. Maybe momentum can carry you through, right? But didn't feel good about where we just, again, man, if anyone thinks, and we can agree to disagree, but if anyone thinks these injuries don't matter, it's just an excuse. As somebody said earlier in the week, it's not an excuse, it's a reason. Like if you truly believe those injuries don't matter, then okay, go into next season, $60 million under the cap, and cut Cooper, cut Micah Parsons, cut Cooper, cut Devontae Wyatt, and go in with just what's left on your roster.
Cut Tucker.
Does that not sound like this? It's just a wild thing to think about, right? So again, it's not an excuse; it's the reason. It is what it is. You got bit by the injury bug, and again, I think we're to the point with this team that you've got to start questioning: how are we scouting right now? How, are we truly digging in deep enough to the medical aspect of these players? Because this keeps happening every single year, and this is your third training staff. You just, I don't get it. So. But appreciate the super chat there, Dark Arts Poker. I'm a little embarrassed myself, buddy. Reggie with the super chat. Thank you, bub, or Regil, if I'm saying that right. Putting it a special teams guy to cover Loveland on the 2-point conversion is crazy. Completely agree. Now you notice what they did there, Emilio. You might have seen this. They loaded up the backfield, right, and had a tight end heavy look. So the Packers. They match with a heavy front, like, okay, they're going to try to run the ball. And then they broke the huddle. That's Ben Johnson. Broke it out, put the tight ends out wide, and that's how you end up with a special teams player out there on them. But, again, you'd have to look at, all right, who are the options to have cover him, right?
Well, especially after Coop goes out. And Hopper's got to come in. You got McDuffie out there. You've got every, big linebacker you can out there. You got Nick Nyman.
He's the
Nyman, that's the one that – yeah,
he's the next guy.
That's who that was on him. That's a you break the huddle and I see that as a matchup, I'm taking that speed out 10 out of 10 times.
Just coming off of IR for like
10 out of 10 times, I'm taking that.
Yeah.
Thank you for the super, Reg. But I get it, man. Not an ideal situation putting Nyman on Loveland there for sure.
Yep.
Godsmack, I've been waiting on this one. I knew this one was coming.
Here we go.
AR69 with the super. Thank you, buddy. He says, I'm sick of folks making excuses for Bisaccia, the same idiot that stuck with Amari stinking Rodgers. Unspecial teams today. There it is. Can't make a kick. 2014 and 2021. Unspecial teams. I want Bisaccia and McManus's heads in a platter, not on a platter.
You're an amazing person. You know that, don't you?
You guys, I was thinking about this earlier. You remember last year in the offseason, there was rumors that Bisaccia might retire. He might step away. And then I remember them asking Matt LaFleur about it in the offseason. He said, yeah, he's, kind of thinking about making a decision or whatever. And he decided to come back. I think Bisaccia will probably, I don't know if he'll hang it up for good, but I think he will step away. I've just got a vibe there. I don't know. I could be wrong. Did I did I make that up in my mind, or was there something there last year where he was kind of like,
yeah, I think they were going to say that they might, venture to that at the end of the season kind of thing and talk about it, but he's had focus on this season kind of thing.
Yeah, that way. All right, guys, Mac, again, thank you for the unspecial teams.
Do you guys think that there is nothing there though with the special team stuff? Like, I'm playing devil's advocate right here. Like, so
what are you trying to say, Jacob?
I'm just saying, if Godsmack over here, he keeps paying us money. I mean, we might as well.
We might as well.
I'm just saying though, today we did have some special teams stirrups, right? Like it did not. It wasn't the amount of money that we're paying necessarily the guy. Did we get what our money's worth?
I don't. Again. I'm probably in the minority here. I don't put McManus missing field goals on Bisaccia, and I've made my opinion pretty clear that I think it's how Brian Gutekunst builds the roster. Special teams is not a focal point. It's just not. They don't treat it like 1/3 of the game, and I'm not saying you necessarily should treat it like 1/3 of the game.
Yeah,
but it's obvious there needs to be more emphasis on that aspect of the roster.
And again, could you clarify, because you did this earlier with the basically it means that like when you have a West Coast offense, you have to build your roster to basically fit what you want to do. Well, you know what I'm trying to say, right?
You don't have to, but history has shown us that the Bill Walsh tree, right? When you've got a West Coast offense head coach, they typically, the bottom of the roster, and it's more of a general manager tree, an executive tree from the West Coast. Right. Like, for example, Ron Wolf comes in, right? And he brings in, essentially that's where Ted Thompson came from. He was in Ron Wolf's tree, right? Well, Ron Wolf came from, the West Coast offense kind of approach, right? So it went down to Ted Thompson.
Walsh.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so they treat the bottom of the roster like, man, we could go get this undrafted free agent. I would rather carry a 6 receiver that's got a 9+ RAS and whatever their athletic score, grading system is, rather than let me go get this thumper that he better not be on the field when you need a play on defense, but he's just a solid special teams contributor. Again, if you go back and look at how Bill Belichick built his roster, he put a lot of focus on special teams. So, but again, do I think Bisaccia is a top 5 special teams coordinator? No. And with that being said, if Godsmack thinks, all right, we can be better there, hell yeah, bring in the next one. I'm just, who is it? Who is that special teams guy? And I think you're going to get, if you get a true special teams coach that comes in and they're really, really adamant about what they need on the roster, I think what's going to happen is they're going to push back a little bit more on like, I need this piece, I need that piece. Now we got to be prepared for the roster to be a little thin at other spots too, if you're going to focus on special teams more, if that makes sense. It's just like defense. You can't, okay, I want to blitz more. All right, just understand there's a negative to that, right? Well, I want to play more man coverage. There's a negative to that. I want to play more zone. Well, there's a negative to that. There's no perfect defense. There's no perfect offense. Everything has got its holes. But, Doc Torganzo with the set might be the coolest damn profile pick tonight. With the super chat, thank you, sir. I'll abstain from calling for heads until the emotions cool. Look at this mature. What are you doing in here with all of us being mature like that?
Yeah,
what concerns me is that collapses like this can linger. Ask the Falcon. That's a great point. That's a great point, man. Great point. Really don't have anything else to add there, man. Appreciate the super chat. I think it's a great point you made. Caterpillar with the super. Thank you, buddy. He says, I know some may not be ready to hear this, but I'm genuinely excited for this team next year. See, Caterpillar, I was trying not to say it. I got to this point 2 weeks ago where it's like, okay, I'm already kind of looking forward to next year. Hope we go on a run. How many times y'all heard me say that, man? Maybe we'll catch lightning in a bottle. Maybe we'll go on a run here. I've already kind of started focusing on like, all right, how do you fix the problems you got this year? You're going to be getting a bunch of people back. I just hope they don't rest on their laurels and be like, okay, we're getting all these starters back from injury. We don't really have to make a lot of changes. You should always be trying to get better. And I think they will. But he says, genuinely excited for next year. Not an expert. Don't know what went wrong, but I hope they figure it out. Throw money at McDaniel for the running game and tighten up. Go Pack, go. Completely agree with the McDaniel thing. Emilio, how do you feel about that? Bringing in Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I really wouldn't.
Mike, hold up, man. Who is it? Is it Mike? Is it Mike? Ain't it?
Yeah.
What's his first name? Yeah, is it Mike?
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, Mike McDaniel. Yeah, I would. I wouldn't be opposed to it at all. I think that you bring in another offensive mind that can work with Matt. You can, it's always good to get some ideas to bounce off of, somebody to bring you back to bringing in motion. I mean, what. Everyone wants to fire Matt LaFleur, but they're not mad at his jet sweep he called first play of the game, get us 10 yards kind of thing. So it's like you're mad. I really did think he was in your bag. You look at Golden's play, you start him in split back pony package, motion him to a bubble, look on the side with the corner blitz coming at that bubble. You got Christian out there, and I think it was Dobbs. I wouldn't be opposed to McDaniel coming in here and adding to the offense there.
Got it. All right. Appreciate the super there, Caterpillar. I'm on board with the McDaniel talk, though, for sure, man. H.E. Soda with the super. At what point do you just call the Green Bay East coach up and ask him how to defend the middle of the field on passing downs, 10-plus years of this? That's the thing, too, right, Soda? It's multiple coordinators, right? I got to be real. I remember when we made the shift to athletic stackbackers. When they went for Quay, it's like, okay, everybody was surprised they took Quay Walker in the first round, and it's because he's an athletic freak, supposedly, right? He's going to be that future linebacker. Well, now what's happened? The game has shifted back towards heavy sets, 12 personnel, right? So, I thought Quay played pretty good tonight. Do you have a prelim on him?
Yes. Well, what I was looking at was our special teams grade. It's actually like the highest grade. We're 21st and 70, set like a 70 on PFF or 76. It's like the highest it's been in like 9 or 10 years. It's
awesome.
For Quay Walker.
They want to hear that, Emilio.
I know. Well, kicker talk's coming. Don't worry, Jacob. Quay Walker, he was 15th on PFF prelim. He had a 58-3. He had a 79 run defense, 81 tackling, 56 pass rush, 46 coverage. So I think they got him on that one crosser and on that touchdown too.
The play he made in the backfield, I tweeted that out. I was excited for him, right? Because but at the same time, just about any player in the league can make that play. He shot the gap pretty much untouched and made the tackle, right? There were several times in coverage where I'm just like, man, he's just every time there's a big play over the middle of the field, he's just kind of there, and it's frustrating because he's got all that athletic ability. And, if he just shoots his freaking shot, if he just, you know what I mean? It's the processing that's the problem. So I think they'll probably move on from him. I think his athletic ability will get him a good chunk of money in free agency, more than the Packers are willing to pay. Now, if it does hit flat and they can get him at $5 or $6 million per, I'm okay with bringing Quay back, but you better still try to improve that position. I mean, Tyron Hopper with the pick, right? It's a bad throw by Caleb.
Tyron looked good, bro.
What'd you think, Emilio? What's his prelim on Hopper?
Hopper, he was the 17th graded. He had 7 snaps. He had a 56-7.
That's only 7 snaps.
Yeah. But right. I like him. I think they might keep Quay if they can keep him under 10. But yeah, that's the defense has speed. The speedier defense come from the linebackers. When Quay is in there and Coop is in there, the speed is crazy. Coop leaves, speed goes down a little bit. Quay leaves. Yeah, I don't know. You were leaning on Quay a lot to blitz today too. Not asking him as much to do that linebacker stuff because we're not getting enough pressure on Caleb. Not a look. I would have maybe liked a couple times just to see maybe drop 8, and rush 3. Just to sort of see where we could get him at. But
I would have loved that too. What do you think about when Edge went out? Like that kind of – it felt like the defense is kind of
I mean, what happened? What happened when Micah went out, Jacob? Right?
That's what I'm saying, and it's the same product point. You like, when Micah goes out, it's like, all right, we got the heart and soul of this defense kind of just busting out, and all of a sudden, Edge just goes out, and it was at that point that I really went, oh crap, like this is not good, bro.
Yeah, when Edge left, I was just like, all right, boys, I mean, what are we doing here? Do we really think we're going to win this ball game?
No.
And then I had to hear, you should have kept the substitute teacher.
And Isaiah did. He's done well all freaking year, and then he had a little bit of a.
I don't know that pass breakup. He did a good job getting back and getting his, and perfect timing too. You know what I mean? Because it'd been real easy to get called for a pass interference there. But I'm with you on the middle of the field, Soder. It's a play-by-play basis, right? Like it's the specific call, right? They're making adjustments. You're making adjustments. You could take the middle of the field away, but you're going to give up corners, right? We're giving up corner routes, and then you take that away, you're giving up the middle of the field. You just at the end of the day, the players that were left on the field for the Packers weren't good enough to finish the game. They just weren't good enough. If you had told me going into this game, Edgerrin Cooper was gonna leave in the second half, I'd probably thought, oh boys, are we really think we're gonna win this? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's how you give up 31, and that's why I'm not fired Jeff Hafley, but I just don't understand how it falls at Matt LaFleur's feet. Like, what should he have done different? And that's why I asked you, Jacob, not trying to be an ass, but I was just
I got you.
What should he do different? And it's always just it's a blanket statement typically, just like I don't know, but something's got to. I'm with you. I want something to change too, but you can't just fire people.
Yeah, what was crazy is that just like it was at the second half is when I text, and like I said, guys, usually Clayton does not respond to the group text. He like basically is a homeless person that never has a phone, and he's not going to respond. And then all of a sudden, but honestly, and he did. He asked, what specifically do you mean? I said, I don't know how to specifically explain it. It just feels like the momentum is changing. And that was before all this stuff started happening.
Right, before the worst of the worst happened, right?
Before the worst started happening. And all of a sudden, it just kept going. And specifically, I honestly couldn't tell him what exactly I could define as why we were starting to fall. And I think that maybe is the encompass of what this season is. It's like we can't figure out exactly where we're falling, but we're just
playing with backups.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, bro. Yeah. It's just the fact that, like, we're sitting here trying to ice skate uphill. That's my best analogy, is that we are ice skating uphill, and we are just trying to figure out like how to plug holes that just they're bigger than we can plug, man. And it's just it's a really bad situation. And as much as we have heart and we have dedication and we think we can play, and we really do have players that could, if we were to if the bounces would have went our way, we could get it. We could have got it. Like it just, for whatever reason, man, that was an epic fallout.
I got nervous on a stretch. I was afraid they were going to try an onside kick. I was like, oh God, don't do that.
Right. Hey, I say the wrong thing. Romeo Doubs absolutely took, like, he resurrected himself, bro. Like, he got the fumble in the end zone, which, by the way, I don't understand how that's a rule anymore, that, like, you got to go back to where the fumble occurred kind of thing. And
what it prevents is for players to intentionally fumble the ball forward into the end zone. Like if there's two players standing there, you can, I dropped the ball. You can't progress it full. And I understand what you're saying. It was kind of weird. It's funny. Nobody on the field, even the official signaled touchdown. He didn't know what the hell to do, right? So that is a rule though, for sure. Ryan with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, when the entire team comes out flat, that's on the coaching. When my teams at work don't get the job done, my board of director placed the fault on me. Gentlemen, this all fall at the feet of LaFleur, man. All right, there you go. Ryan has spoken. So, all right. Yeah. Thank you for the super, Ryan. Appreciate you, buddy. Leaf Twisted, is that right? This is Chris, I think, with the super. Thank you, buddy. Said at least Golden got his first touchdown. Golden ran through the entire.
What a great touchdown, dude!
Man, he just ran through everybody's face. That was awesome. What do we got there with him, Emilio? What we got on our prelim?
Golden, he's second highest prelim with a 81.6, 79.9 pass, 60.8 run block. He was in there for 35 of the 71 snaps.
So what you're going to see next year is Romeo will probably hit free agency, and You'll get a comp pick the following year, obviously in 2027. But Matthew Golden, I think, will get quite the increase on touches.
He's a big player in big games. I mean, we talked about that.
That's the first thing I thought, man, was like, of course he's going to step up in the playoffs. We've seen him do it in the SEC championship down the stretch, right?
We look to him, on 2 third downs and a fourth? I mean, the speed out on – it's just like
hands,
get the ball to him.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Chris, for the super. Caterpillar with the super. Glad Golden at least got his touchdown before the season ended. During that play, man was like, no, you will not take this away from me. With the flex emoji.
Golden had that good stick work, Clay. You know what I mean? When you
that little jab juke at the end was so subtle. When you go back and watch it, it's like it was so effortless, and the defender
he lined it up. Oh yeah, he was eyeing it the whole time too. He just walked him right.
That was an impressive play. Like that was very impressive. The fact that he could spin out, make a juke. It's almost like Emilio's playing like a freshman on college football.
I'm telling you, Jacob, that's good stick work right there.
I'm just saying. You know about stick work, don't you, brother?
Hey, yo, my boring ass. You know what I do in that situation, Emilio? I'm holding that right back bumper button, baby. We're protecting the football.
Oh yeah.
Right there. Soder with the super. Thank you, buddy. Says Matt LaFleur needs to figure out ways to win games. He seems to be stuck on how to lose mode. He has had leads in every playoff loss, absent the Eagles. And what's crazy too is, again, it's Matt LaFleur. But I mean, think about, remember against Tom Brady in Tampa, what happened in that game? Remember, what's our boy Kevin King just decided I'm not going to cover my deep half and just let the receiver run by right before halftime. And it's like, Matt LaFleur needs to figure that out, I guess, but I don't know what the answer is. And I'm genuinely, that's why I asked Jacob. It's why I'm like, what's the answer? What do you want him to do different? You know, what needs to happen? You know, I think you need better players. You need to stay healthy. And again, the only knock I had against Matt LaFleur tonight is I did not like how we came out in the second half pass happy. Hated that. Absolutely hated it. Would like to see him lean on the run a little bit. And if you go
again, Clayton never responds to group chats. He never does, but he'd be like 2 passes, 3 runs, and then he'd be like 5 passes, 2 runs, like 7 passes, 2 runs. And to be fair, like he's right, dude. He was freaking right. I was over there trying to kind of, be like, well, why do we run this and why do we run that? And then all of a sudden, here we are looking at a freaking down the scope of the gun that we're getting shot by. It's just it was tough. It was tough to take, man. It was tough.
That's all right. Reggie with the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. I can't believe all the drops in the clutch. Who had the drop? Reed had a drop, didn't he?
Reed and Watson both did. Yeah.
Yeah. The Watson one was kind of tough though, wasn't it? It was like
that was
Jordan,
a dot. I watched that from the prime view. That was between 4 people.
Yeah.
In the end zone, almost on Christian Watson's hands.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. A couple drops down the stretch there is tough for sure. The Jaden Reed one was real tough, and you could see Jordan wanted it bad. But then Jaden Reed came back and made a big play, right? And I think we would all agree Christian Watson's had his best year too. So I know that's not what you're saying, Reggie. Like, fire everybody, but yeah, appreciate the super chat, man. Badger Trio with the super. Goody contract is up. No need to fire. It's not up this year, right? They're both under contract next year. Badger Trio. Yeah, both Matt LaFleur and Goody are under contract next year. Now, it did come out that Matt LaFleur is going to meet with management and they're going to extend his contract, right? Now that the season's over, that's going to happen immediately. Nothing got leaked out. They were doing that with Goody, though, did it? That's interesting, right? Like there wasn't no report on. Yeah, Goody's going to sit down to extend. They may let Goody go in this year without an extension. To be honest with you, I could see that happening. That's interesting. That's really, really interesting there. We'll have to, like I said, we'll get you all those updates as we get into the off season. Appreciate you, Trio. Ryan with another super, man. You're doing too much tonight, buddy. We appreciate you. He says with the super, I couldn't stomach LaFleur's post-game conference. It's a broken record.
I have to go back and listen to that one.
Yeah, that's. Coaches are never going to say anything.
I haven't listened to it, but yeah. It's got to be the same old.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing too. Is like, what do you want him to say? I'm sick of this crap. You know, what
I
I mean?
hate everyone. I'm gonna fire everybody.
Coaches just aren't going to do it, right? And I'm not saying he shouldn't do. I'm just I've got to where I don't. The only pressers I'll tune into now is just to try to catch a little inside information if there's a roster move about to happen or what. We're kind of at a boiling point in this part of the roster or this specific spot. Okay, are they giving us any kind of tip there? It's really the only time I watch. It's why we stopped playing it on here too, because we'd have a huge crowd in here watching the postgame show. We put the presser up and they just drop like flies. It's like, okay, because it's hard to hear and
the only presser Clay listens to.
Playoffs? Don't talk about
on loop. And by the way, today, man, I was sitting here working on the draft board, putting a bunch of information in the draft board. And you guys already got an early link. We'll keep that updated for you guys in the Patreon group, patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. But I was like, man, what do I want to watch while I do this? I don't know why, but I just thought 1993. So I pulled up a hour-long special on the 1993 NFL season. And it was Steve Sable just breaking everything. Oh, it was awesome. Dude. Talking about going back to being a kid again. I was what
an OG.
Would I have been there? 82 to 12 years old, I guess I would have been at the time. So,
hey, and I don't want to just
don't you do this, Jake?
No, I'm just saying that Emilio already we can tell, and Clayton, you guys have no idea the process that goes into the next season. It's already started, guys, and we have already been over there with like our, when you talk about things like the 50-man roster, like that kind of thing. We are going into the draft season where these guys are actually building a board where you guys have no idea how much dedication they're going into. Emilio is kind of a psycho. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, he's kind of I don't want to say he's a certain type of way, but like he paints with colors that I think that he sees colors. You know what I'm trying to say? You know what I'm trying to say?
Exactly what you're trying to say.
This guy's eating crayons for fun. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy.
Scared money don't make money.
I'm just saying, guys, get ready because right now this is the start of the offseason. And if you could have any kind of solace in what happened tonight, like it sucks, right? It sucks. It absolutely sucks. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to reset and we're going to have fun, dude. We're going to go on to the next season. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to cover the draft. We're going to cover the prospects. We're going to cover everything that's going to happen to the Green Bay Packers and then some. It's going to be awesome, dude. Like, you guys just have to just stay tuned, stay a little fun. Like, we're going to be weird about it. We're obviously a bunch of weirdos right now. But literally, we dive so deep into this, like, dedication of being with the NFL season and having these draft picks and all this kind of stuff. You guys are going to have fun with it, right? So even though tonight tonight's going to be tonight sucks, right? But tomorrow you wake up, we're going to have a great day and we're going to start building tomorrow's season.
Turn into Mr. Rogers. Just Mike with the super chat. Thank you, Mike. Mixon is the symptom of a lack of an older on-field experience and leadership, young team problems. And again, here's what's crazy. Nixon is one of the veterans on the team, right? What's that tell you? Seriously, like that's not the type of veteran we're talking about adding, right? Like, yeah, we need this guy that's been around. Josh Jacobs is the epitome of the type of veteran you're looking for.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a less talented Josh Jacobs, but the way he approaches everything, Jacobs is always forward focused, right? He's always about what's best for the team, not I'm going to go out here and act like a tough guy. You know what I mean? It just, man, that was, again, I hit the boiling point tonight with Nixon. I hate to say that, but it's true. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you, buddy. Jason Y with the super. Thank you so much, man. He says, it's obvious even with the injuries, we are loaded with talent, but we knew the only way they would lose is self-inflicted errors. Again, and I have to add, it's the characteristics of a young team. That's what they do. They make mental mistakes. Penalties.
More games are lost than won. And keep coming back to it.
Reality, and thank you, Jason. Appreciate you. Reality shift with the super. Thank you so much. Matt LaFleur isn't the issue. 4 touchdowns is 4 touchdowns. Our special teams was the issue. Rich Bisaccia has got to go. Our unspecial team, by the way, has got to go. and so does McManus. An NFL kicker cannot miss that many kicks and keep his job. And I can't say anything positive about Bisaccia. So it looks like, and again, I think Bisaccia probably will be gone. It kind of feels like that was, they were this close to that happening last year. Not that he's going to be fired, but it just, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come back. So go find you a new O-line coach, right? Go find you a new special teams coordinator. And now we don't have to hear about him complaining about Bisaccia anymore. And that's going to be a plus, right? And that's not a shot at Reality Shift. You're not the only one. I'm just, again, it's like Gary. I kind of hope they move on from Gary. And I love Rashawn Gary.
I love,
Got his jersey framed and everything. Love the dude. I think he's been a great Packer. I'm just so sick of people saying it's his fault. It's his fault. He's the reason. It's just, they've realized on social media, some of the people with the big followers, they know it's going to get a big reaction. So it's like clickbaity. They just do it just because they know everybody's going to pile on, So, but anyway, appreciate the super chat there, Reality Shift. You're the man. Daddy Nap.
Zap.
Snap. With the super thank you. Our team doesn't know how to close games and come back. The one thing I like about Golden, seems like he has grit and news more of it. So yeah, I agree. Golden, again, we seen that was in the scouting report that we put up on Patreon when he was coming out in the draft. Before we even drafted him, was he's got that gene, don't he, Emilio? He's got that ability that the bigger the game, the bigger he plays. And when the game's on the line, he really steps up.
Yeah, cool as a cucumber, it seemed like out there. I mean, yeah, you had his one. Actually, he had his one penalty there where he lined up over the tackle or covered the tight end up. Can't be having that. But that kind of leans back to why it wasn't Golden getting a bunch of plays, bunch of snaps. Maybe he doesn't know all of the plays in the offense, or maybe there's been a mistake here and there in practice. So it's not like everything that's going on. And why is he only getting 30 snaps a game?
Yeah, absolutely. So appreciate the super chat there, Daddy. Daddy. Number one Packer fan became a member again. Appreciate you, pal. I know you've been a member here for a long time, so you just re-upping that. Thank you so much. Badger Trio with the super. This team is not far away. We need to stay healthy. Got to stay healthy, and we need to add 2 or 3 key veterans. And people are going to say, we ain't got no cap space. The hell we don't. You can create cap space just like that. There's plenty of restructures that can take place. A couple players you can move on from. If you move on from Elton Jenkins, you free up a bunch of cap. If you move on from Rashawn Gary or get him to restructure and lower the cap, you can free up cap there. Go get you 2 or 3 veterans, and you got to do something about this offensive line because the run blocking is just not good.
Think about that. You don't have Elton. You don't have Zach Tom. You forget about where.
I didn't even mention Zach Tom. That's another
we
one.
didn't even have a Sean Ryan, brother.
Yeah. At the end,
We got Latitas.
it's just
Smith.
brutal.
Letitia. We got Letitia Smith. Listen. Zach Tom, I didn't even talk about. I already put it out of my mind, right? The offense just dropped 27 points. Jordan Love threw for 323 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. He was sacked 1 time without Zach Tom. Yeah. I think the scheme, the play calling on offense is pretty damn good tonight. Was it perfect? No, it'll never be. But the only time I've ever seen a perfect offense was Brett Favre first half after his pops died. And that was because guys were just snatching balls out of the air.
That was in Oakland, right?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. So appreciate you, Badger Trio. Love the optimism, buddy. That's what I'm here for. Mike Witt with the super. I was never a fire Matt guy, but I think it's time for a change after today. Every year it's the same mistakes. That's on coaching. And that's where I disagree. We talked about this in the offseason. You guys remember I got so frustrated as the roster rounded out. I'm like, we've got the youngest roster again. That ain't on Matt. It ain't. I'm going to be real. I'm kind of surprised he's had as much success as he's had with the youngest roster. He's had the youngest roster for 3 years in a row now. We've made the playoffs all 3 years. And I know the frustration. Well, it's not about making the playoffs. It's about winning Lombardies. I got you. When was the last time the youngest team in the league won the Lombardi? It could happen. But just understand, following that blueprint, following that modeling of the roster, highly unlikely until you change that. So, and you went and got Micah. That helps. You got Trayvon Diggs now. That'll help, right? If you keep him around next year. But I think we need to probably, like I said, sign a couple more veterans. You're not going to have a first-round pick this year. Don't, please, for the love of God, if they build this roster out, trading back in the draft and loading up with 10 draft picks and we got 10 rookies on the roster, I'm going to lose my freaking mind because we're going to be the youngest roster in the league again. And you got to hear me in training camp go, guys, understand, highly unlikely we win the whole thing.
Do you put that on Gutekunst at all?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's on Goody. I guarantee you Matt LaFleur ain't going to Goody going, you know what we need, Goody? We need some more. We need
some youngies.
He's looking over there going, boy, that would have been nice to have Devontae Adams, right? Boy, that would have been nice to have Joe Tooney. Could you imagine Joe Tooney playing left guard instead of Aaron Banks?
No.
And again, when they signed him, everybody laughed at the Bears going, wow, he's 32 years old. What the hell are they thinking? They're thinking they're building in the trenches, and look at what they've done. They got a top 10 offense, and they're running the ball down people's throat for the most part. And they know how to hold without getting called for it. That's a big plus. Yeah. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you, buddy. CJ Ugsek with the super chat. Any chance Love got concussed on that helmet-to-helmet hit late in the second? He seemed to be glossy-eyed and take longer to get plays off after that. That would be strictly speculation, I think, but I can understand why you feel like that. That was a lick. They led with the crown again, and they Amelia.
Yep.
Gotta love it.
He likes the way the grass looks, I guess. Always looking down at it when he's hitting people.
That's a pretty patch of grass they got painted on here today. So I think there's a chance, CG. So maybe. I know this. They're so quick to pull those players out of the game now. If somebody's concussed and they can stand up, they make sure they're telling their teammates, get me up quick. Don't let them think about it, right? They're still trying to fight that a little bit.
And that was the only sack right there, was the helmet to helmet for 1 yard. That's up, right? For a backup O-line that has been thrown together. Jordan Morgan, we want him on left tackle all season. He's played right tackle, and you get one sack. He was, under pressure a few times, but still 4 touchdowns, no picks. Come on.
Yeah. Thank you for the super CG. Appreciate you. Chester Marco with the super chat. This damn profile pic broke me up. What is this profile pic right here? This is a clown with an oddly painted face. Looks like a Budweiser, one of the old school Budweisers, and he's smoking a lung dart there. Hopefully it's a lung dart. It might be the devil's lettuce. Who knows? Firing Matt LaFleur is a rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. The iceberg is Goody. So again, I don't think they should fire Goody, but if I'm Ed Policy, I'm going to Goody going, hey, bub, we need to let's amp it up a little bit here. We need to go and get a couple veterans. And Ed Policy can do that, right? He's in charge. He can. Right. He is the acting owner, if you will, right? So he can go to Goody and try to force that hand. I think that would probably be the right move. And I'll tell you this, Chester, I don't think Goody is the iceberg. I love the analogy there. But if you made me fire one or the other, Goody or LaFleur, right, I would definitely fire Goody over LaFleur. That's just me personally. Because I want to see what LaFleur can do with a veteran roster, not the youngest roster in the league. I think it would be a better outcome there in that regard. Thank you for the super, man. We got to go quick here. We're going way over. I know you guys need to get in bed. Reginald with the super chat. Today certified that Golden needs to be more involved. Absolutely. And here's the thing. He was more involved because Wicks was hurt, right? And he ended up being the fourth receiver on the roster, essentially. Next year, Dobbs will probably walk in free agency, so he will get more reps. I think what you're going to see next year, I've talked about this, from a deployment standpoint, Matthew Golden in the X, Christian Watson in the Z, Jaden Reed in the F. That's what I think you'll see. Unless they have a stud wide receiver fall to them that they can't keep off the field, and then maybe in that case, maybe Matthew Golden's fighting with Jaden Reed for the F position, the slot position, if that makes sense. So appreciate the super there, man. I need to go blow my nose, boys. I'm telling you, I'm losing my mind over here. Godsmack with the super. Thank you so much. I bet this is going to be on special teams. Look at here. When Versace says we fence is the most cringe thing I've ever heard on special teams. Amari Rodgers plus all the damn penalties during his tenure. Don't know who's better, but it can't possibly get worse.
You're an amazing person. You know that, don't you?
I don't know who's better either, Godsmack. But and that's an interesting concept too, to think about how you go out and find the next special teams coordinator. Like, do you go to college? You know what I mean? Do you go try to poach someone, a young guy? Because special team coaches, they have assistants, sure, but it seems like special teams coaches just get recycled. They'll get fired. We'll hire if Bisaccia does step away, we'll hire the best of 3 special teams coaches that have been fired in the past.
Top 5 special teams as a team this year per PFF would be Minnesota 1, San Fran 2, Cleveland 3, Jets and Cincinnati tied for 4.
Really? Cincinnati, huh?
They're all in the 90s for special teams.
So maybe a coaching staff gets scrapped somewhere and you can go grab one of those special teams coordinators.
In Detroit. So two of the Detroit 6. So Minnesota and Detroit are top 6 on special teams, and that's in the division. You got to compete with that. So we need to be able to, rinse and repeat and be up there with them.
Yeah, there you go. All right, appreciate the super there, Godsmack. Number 1 Packer fan with the super. Green Bay will need to make some serious choices in the offseason and possibly let some players go in order to invest in the offensive line. Here's what I think you should do, in my opinion. I think Aaron Banks, I think, is the one you can free up a little bit of money. Nate Hobbs is potentially on the chopping block now that you got Trayvon Diggs. I would look to free up cap in those 2 spots. Elton Jenkins is the big one. I'm sorry. Elton Jenkins is the big one. You could free up like $10 million, I think, with Elton Jenkins. You could free up roughly $10 million if you move on from Rashawn Gary. I would rather them keep Gary, free up $5 million if he'll take a pay cut and guarantee a little bit of that remaining salary, is the way I would approach that. I think in 2 or 3 swoops of the pen, Goody could free up 15 to 20 million in cap space. And to me, that's enough to go get one solid offensive lineman and maybe another decent one that's an improvement over whoever on your offensive line. Jordan Morgan, I think, is proven, though. He's a tackle. He can play tackle in the NFL. We've talked about that. His PFF grade playing tackle, he grades out in the 7. What was his grade tonight, Amelia? Watch it be horrible now. Because he's at tackle, Jordan Morgan was grading out in the 70s at tackle on like 160 snaps. He was grading out in the 50s as a guard, which we've been saying from day one. He's a tackle. He's not a guard.
No, he was top 3. He was all 71 snaps. He had a 78.5.
There you go. He's a tackle, for God's sakes. He'll play left tackle next year. That's what's going to happen. He'll
Pass
be your
blocking
left
was
tackle.
an 80. Run blocking was a 73.6.
Yeah. And am I the only one frustrated with Rasheed Walker? Like, it's always a penalty here or there with Rasheed, it seems like, right? And again, he's a 7th-round pick. It is what it is. Again, you know what I mean? That's another example of playing the younger players. And yes, he's a good pass blocker, but he's gotten to the point now where I feel like he's an above average tackle, and that's just not good enough at a tier 1 position of importance. Appreciate you, number 1 Packer fan. Jason Y with the super. Not to be negative, but hey, listen, if you want to be negative, man, you be negative. Like I said, we're venting here. We may disagree, and I'm not going to blow smoke up people's asses, and people will probably get mad at me because I'm disagreeing with some of these, but I feel like you guys tune in to hear my honest opinion, and I want to hear your all's honest opinion too, as long as we're all respectful. That's all that matters. He says not to be negative, but I would love for just once for Goody to stop trying to be the smartest guy in the room and draft the guys we all know we need. I mean, when we can build a board and we find people and we're like, man, could have took him there, could have taken that guy. I'm always of the opinion I don't know as much as a general manager. These are the top 32 most qualified people to do this job. I'm nowhere, in no way, shape, or form am I saying
our board's pretty good, though.
Dude, the board, I mean, remember one of the big knock. What was Anthony Belton tonight, Amelia? What was his prelim?
Anthony Belton was 14th. He was a 53-3, played all 71.
You remember in the draft process, we were live in Green Bay. Jacob was at his house in Wisconsin. We drafted Anthony Belton, and Jacob said, that just feels like a reach. And I said, according to our board, it is. It was. Now, he was in the gold, which is he's Goody's top, right? But when they drafted Anthony Belton, I don't know if there was a better option. The reality is he was a tackle who was a reach at the time. We had other players. I want to say Ozzie Trapilla.
Ozzie Trapilla was four tiers above him.
Was he Boston College, right?
Yep. That's who got hurt. And, he was on the Bears. That's who got hurt. I'm pretty sure the Bears got him.
Yeah.
Was it after us? They get him in the 3rd round? I can't remember.
I want to say they did because I remember thinking, boy, that would have been the pick there. Of course, the Bears took him. I remember thinking that.
Yeah, that was it.
That's another example of how our board, proved otherwise. It really did. So that's it is what it is, But I do think there's a little bit of that trying to be the smartest guy in the room. I don't want to rake him completely over the coals because I think we do have a good team. And if everybody was healthy, we're probably boat racing the Bears tonight, So that's what it is. Godsmack with the super again. Thank you so much. you ain't gonna believe this, but he says, I'm sick of unspecial teams. First, the onside kick in 2014, and the most pathetic long snapper of all time can't block a toddler in 2021. I'm scared. I am.
You're an amazing person. You know that, don't you?
He's going to keep supering, and we're going to keep playing that clip.
3 for 3. Got to.
Gotcha. Appreciate you guys, Mac. King Tron with the super. We never should have been there anyway. Injured. See, that's how I looked at it. Tron was like,
what were we ranked coming in? 7th, right? They were 2. Weren't they supposed to win that?
They were. Again, what makes it tough is what Jacob was saying. You go out there and you kick the dog crap out of them in the first half, and you should have won that game. Yeah, you should have won it. That's the frustrating part. If you had been trailing by 10 the whole game, we'd be sitting there going, boys, it is what it is. Everybody's hurt, but you proved you can hit them in the mouth. And in the second half, it falls apart. But again, Edger and Cooper leaving the game was absolutely huge. Absolutely huge, man. Yeah. Appreciate the Supertron. Packer Doug with the super. This is the last one we got to wrap up, guys. Thank y'all so much. Packer Doug says, I understand the offense getting caught off guard at the half. If you don't know what's going on after that, you go with your strength. What's the Packers' offensive strength? I don't know. Does Matt LaFleur know? I think our strength is the passing game. And I think you're going to hate this, Doug, but Matt LaFleur did exactly what you're suggesting they should have done. The strength of this Green Bay Packers team has not been the running game at all this year. We couldn't run block a wet paper bag this year. So you got to go with what works. They went with the passing game there. And in the fourth quarter, actually, let's just talk second half here, okay? Third quarter, punt. Those first 3 drives, we threw the ball 6 times to 4 runs, okay? So we're leaning into the run. And then another punt, that made it 4 drives, 9 passes, 4 runs. And then the following drive, you score a touchdown. And that play call sequence was 9-yard pass. Well, first of all, 10-yard penalty, right? Love that. That's a Rasheed Walker offensive holding. 9-yard pass, 22-yard pass, 1-yard run, incompletion, 9-yard pass, 23-yard touchdown pass. So on that drive there, they threw the ball 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6 times, and they scored a touchdown. So they did what you're suggesting, Doug. That's the strength of the team. Do y'all agree with that, Emilio? Do you agree with that? That passing is the strength of our team?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm a 65, 70% kind of thrower. I mean, but you got to lean into the run. I think, and we talked about Matt. You can't get away from Josh if you need to. But again, then you use him on special teams to get a return. Then he's not out there for the first play. You're going to run it with a guy that just ran the return up. Josh was always our engine. Jordan was crushing it tonight, but I think you should have kept feeding the engine some more gas and oil. I would have kept feeding them.
Yeah. And when you look at it, the next drive was 2-yard pass, 34-yard pass, no gain run, 12-yard pass, no gain run, incompletion, 5-yard penalty, incompletion, field goal missed. So you threw the ball.
Only thing they could have said is, why didn't Matt LaFleur go for it instead of punting it on some of those when we sent Whelan out there at the start of the third, right? If everyone's mad at Matt LaFleur not being, aggressive enough or whatever, we could have gone for it on one of those.
And I'm going to be the first to say, guys, if he had not punted in any of those situations, I would have been madder than hell. Like I'm all about punt and flip the field, trust your defense. Tonight, though, man, it was that defense was bad tonight, man. They finished the season really bad. I don't know if Jeff Hafley gets a job or not, boys. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Didn't we have another situation where if we would have just taken the points, we would have won, right? Or at least been tied?
No. There was no situation tonight where we went for it instead of kicking a field goal and didn't get it. There was only one time where it was in question and we went for it. That's when Jordan Love throws the touchdown pass, right?
Or you could be thinking of the mixed extra point would have just had us. We would have just had to get 3
there. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm
instead of a touchdown.
Yeah. Last one. Pack Attack with the super. Thank you, buddy. Says, did the Bears want it more and adjust it, or did the Packers players and coaches just come out flat? Mad emoji. Kind of awkward looking to the side emoji, and then the ghost face emoji. So, I think the Bears were healthier. I think the Bears were at home. I think the Bears got every single penalty call possible. I mean, we talked about it. What was it? 6 for 75 yards. Bears got called for 2 for 1 yard or 5 yards?
2 for
5
5. Yeah, and that was just because the center leaned back a little bit on one of his snaps. Besides
My God, that was terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, man. Pretty rough. So again, and just let me pop this up here real quick. I got one for you. If you're going, what are you talking about, Clayton? I don't remember any bad calls. Here's one that should have been a strip sack. Tell me, is that a hold, boys? I don't know. Somebody help me out here. You think it's
That's
a
what
hold?
dude.
Yeah, it looks like a hold, right?
we just call that a restraint, Clay.
Tough, right? Now I got
We had
one
a
more
couple
here.
other ones like that too.
Yeah, I'm going to show you the other one here real quick.
Oh boy.
Again, the big punt return. Fire Basaccia because of this big punt return. This is the screen grab, and I posted the video too. I don't want to get hit with a copyright here, but this is the screen grab from it. I'm sorry, is that a hold? Somebody help me here.
Nope, those are the stretchy.
No. He's just helping him out.
He's pulling his damn jersey off his back.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see Carrington try to readjust. The guy cuts right over off his shoulder, and he's throwing his hands up like, what the hell just happened? Are you really not throwing a flag right now? So that's another one. And again, if you're not going to call that, it's the playoffs. I get it. I would rather there be 0 penalties in the game, right?
But they call it equally.
The problem is call it both ways.
Yeah.
You know? And again, all night long, the Bears got the calls all night long, and they were trailing the point spread, right? The entire night. That's exactly how it played out. So hate to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. Appreciate the super chat pack tag. And then Bates with the big dono here. Thank you, Bates. Man, you're too kind, buddy. You got to stop doing this.
Yeah, seriously. Stop it, Bates.
He always comes in here and puts a bow on it, right? And just talks logic. He says, not the outcome we wanted. That's an understatement, Bates. That's life sometimes, right? Appreciate being a part of all this. Love you all, and I mean it. Go Pack, go. And I think that's a good place to end it. I agree, guys. It's if you were looking at this going in this game like, man, we're going to run the table, we're going to win the whole thing, I respect you for it, and I appreciate it. I'm glad you feel that way, and I was hoping you were right. I just wasn't there, and I'm hoping next year is the year they put it together. I think there's got to be a couple changes. We've talked about them. We're going to continue to talk about them. We're just getting started, as Bates said there. And again, Bates, thank you so much for that, man. Thanks to everybody. Y'all, the super chats tonight. You guys were unbelievable, man. Thank y'all so much for jumping in here and talking ball with us. But this offseason is going to be a blast. Draft board started. We're going to lay out a schedule and kind of lay the foundation for what we're going to do this offseason. Obviously, free agency and the draft kind of intermingle. We'll jump back and forth to that. We'll get you guys information on the top available free agents. First step is, okay, 2 things. Which players are you going to re-sign, and which players are potential restructures to free up cap space? Okay, we'll jump into that first. And like I said, we'll continue to dive into everything that's Packers. Draft coverage, free agency, coaching carousel is going to heat up real quick. That'll happen first probably now that their season's over. We'll see if Jeff Hafley gets a job or not. We'll see if Basaccia comes back with his unspecial teams. We'll see if we get a new O-line coach. My top 2 moves right off the bat, new O-line coach, and I need to bolster this offensive line yesterday. That's what we need to do. So that's my top needs going in. And also, I'm excited if Devontae Wyatt's going to be healthy next year, but you better go find another 3-tech. You better find a 3-tech that's dominant, because he's not dominant. He's a good player, but you got to keep looking for that dominant player. What was LVN tonight? What was his prelim? Great. I feel like he was good.
Hercules. He was it's top 7, number 7, 47 snaps, 66.8. He had a 45 on run defense, 72 tackling, 74 pass rush, 62 coverage.
And all these can change, right, Emilio? They could change.
Yeah, these are all the prelims. Yeah.
So we'll do that on the show tomorrow. We'll dive into the final grades, get that to all you guys. But LVN, we're going to finish the year at about 75 PFF grade. He got that sack tonight too. Pretty cool, right? Got a sack. He was the only sack I think we had on the evening. So
he's a grown ass man now. And
his coach, he looks like he's taking a step forward for sure. So I'm excited about it. That's it, guys. Way too many super chats to name y'all off individually. Thank y'all so much for being a part of this. Thank you for a fun season. I want to say I appreciate everybody's friendship, everybody in the chat, everybody we got to meet, people we met at the draft. This year has been a blur, but man, has it been absolutely awesome. It's been a great season. It's been a lot of fun. It didn't end up the way we wanted, way too many injuries to overcome. But we're going to reset, and the season goes on here. So
special shout out to Bates, though. This dude's just been there so hard, man. Appreciate you, Bates. You guys,
he's awesome, man, for sure. And again, if you guys, the best way to support what we do here at PTA, if you want to be a part of the community, join patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. $3, access to everything in there. And that's where you find the draft board and all of our coverage in that regard. All the scouting reports. When we get a top 30 visit, we immediately top up a scouting report and put it in there. Not our personal scouting report, but we take the scouting report from people that we trust, your Greg Cosell's, your Dane Bruglers, people like that. And we put all that in Patreon so you have access to us. So that's the best way to support what we do here. That's it, guys. Thank y'all so much. I'm going to go save my marriage, and I know the first thing she's going to say when I sit down on that bed, she's going to go, should have kept the substitute kicker. Or she's gonna say, and you know what? She's right. Caterpillar, last comment there. What did he say there? That's all right. Don't worry about it. It ain't that important.
Yeah, Clay's going to go tell me.
I'm not going to lie. I was faded. I ain't going to lie. I was faded.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say what I've always said, and it's how we've gotten to 26 years in this relationship. I'm going to go, you were right. That's it. That's the secret.
There you go.
Done.
You were right.
You do that, you're going to get your ass kicked. And that.
Yeah, I am a battered husband, too, by the way. I'm like O.J. Simpson. I was a battered husband. You know what I mean?
Oh, my God.
All right. Everybody have a great night. Appreciate y'all for Emilio and for Jacob. We will see you guys tomorrow. This is PTA. My name's Clayton. Go, Pack, go. As Tim always says, go, Pack, go till I'm dead and cold, I think is what he says.
Mm-hmm. Green and gold till I'm dead and cold.
We will rebuild. All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.
Here we go.
Nice.
Bye, guys.